Alright. We are back on Friday here for Friday Night Fights. We'll be covering all 3 rounds tonight before we get into some DayZ later in the evening. We've got, for our first round, a solid platoon versus platoon. Green 4 on the offensive, blue 4 defending. It looks like 2 caches, but we will see more when we get put in. So I will go ahead and set up the prediction right now. It is blue 4 defending, green 4 attacking. We'll set it for 20. Just so we can get a little ahead of it. And we'll see how everything goes with that. Otherwise, hope you're all doing A-okay. These are the 2 planned streams for this evening. Again, Friday Night Fights, all 3 rounds, and then DayZ. We're going to start casually with the first round, and then we'll move on to some other music for rounds 2 and 3 as we ease into it. I'll tell you guys, my week has been incredibly busy, but we've made a lot of progress on the 24-hour Arma op, the 24-hour DayZ op. I want to make more progress with that over the weekend, but it is Father's Day, and I'm going to be spending some time with my pop, at least on Saturday, and then Sunday will definitely be a nice work day. We got the next Fallout op for Monday all sorted. I got 4 more things for Pog to make before we start in a new pay-for-campaign style scenario for them. And, of course, continuing on the Stargate campaign, and then I'm working on all the other mini projects. I've been doing a massive amount of video editing, personally. I think I've gone through 600 or 700 gigs through this week alone. If I would actually tab out and check. When I started on Monday, my computer was at, I think, 640 gigs free. And now it's literally a terabyte and about a quarter free. So I've been busy. I've been quite busy trying to get ahead of everything that I can, and my computer just decided to, okay, Arma just effed itself. And it looks like a lot of people just suffered that, because I saw a lot of people just rubber band back into the other channel. Lovely. That's what I get for tabbing out and trying to be personal, right? Well, let me go ahead and Alt F4 real quick. It's a quick mod set to reboot, so we'll go ahead and get that on, and then we'll start going through everything. So let me go ahead and put the stock image up, and we'll just let the game boot. But yeah, I still have at least like 4 terabytes to go on all of my backlog, but with how YouTube's been doing recently, it's been bouncing back more so than we've seen in years. We're getting everything tracked on there, and then there's some other projects we gotta get done. But I am trying my best to get everything forward, and we'll just have to see how things go. So, please pardon this little technical difficulty. I think something just spiked on the mission file and caused a bunch of people to crash. So, they'll probably extend the mission by a few minutes and then go forward with that. But we'll keep it casual for the beginning. And, of course, we'll have 2 to 3 hours of DayZ tonight as well. But Daz, buddy, how you doing? Just stuck on initializing add-ons. How you doing, Shark? FNF just crashed us out, so we're going to go and try to figure out what's going on with it. But for whatever reason, the initializing add-on section is being a little bit difficult. You'll place your bet on the losing side? Well, don't bet yet. At least let us get back in the mission file first. Oh, God. Of course it's still stuck on initializing add-ons. Yeah, we are, Flash. Just a little technical difficulty. It crashed me out of the file, which... I can't remember the last time FNF itself crashed on me like this. I mean, I know the Soon event last weekend had a critical error and stopped running the mission... But in terms of actually crashing my game out, I can't remember the last time that might have happened. Ah, right, Spiegel. So you're making a BS vote just to get a BS vote out there. All right, I can respect that. All right, it's booting. When I push in, I will get rid of the stock image. It's because when I click the early server button, it does briefly show the password, so I just want to make sure we're Not doing anything silly with that. Best way to bet, we ballin'. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a... Hey, man, if you wanna be a high roller like that, by all means. You do you, buddy. I ain't gonna judge. Alright. Back on the interface, hitting all my buttons to get everything sorted. Let's look at our mission details here. So, for our task, Blue 4 has to destroy... It's not 2 caches. Alright, it is an artillery gun and a Comanche helicopter. It's Green 4 trying to destroy those, Blue 4 trying to defend them. Briefing here, 800 meters of render distance. We're fighting on the southern airfield in Temblin Island. 100 points for fortifying for Blue 4. Color's going to be green because this is a forested map, a lot of greenery. And then the standard 50-minute round. Notes, none. Background. Central governance is falling into pieces in the Temblin archipelago. Ad hoc militias are trying to deny military hardware out of fear. Area of operations is an airfield, open terrain surrounded by knee-high walls and bushes, multiple trees and hangars, a few buildings apart from the South Barracks area. Said barracks being overall low ground, surrounding walls at present numerous holes in it, either crawlable or straight up gone walls. Mission rules, none. Lovely. All right, Blue 4's loadouts, the defenders here are going to be... If I'm reading that right, that is AK-74s, because they have the bright orange mag. That's usually the tell when you see the symbolism of it. But they have NPZ rails, which means they're going to put Western optics on AKs. And you see the NPZ rail for the RPK. Technically the RP-74, actually. And then you've got an SVD, an AT-4, and a PKP. That is a very interesting bastardization of Russian gear, if I've ever seen one myself. Meanwhile, Green 4 are going to be working with FAMASs as African police uniforms, quote-unquote. We got 203s on FAMASs here, 25-round magazines, SVDs, mini-me's, AT-4s, and then GPMGs for their medium machine guns. That is interesting. Yeah, so you have the red dots on top of the NPZ rail, and they're using the plum max, so these are definitely 74s. That's crazy. All right. Regardless, let's go over our roster here. So commanding is Mike, with a 2IC that also happens to be Mike. What? Wait a minute. Okay. There's 2 mics that are identical. I think that one's an AI based off of how he's moving, but cool. Mike Squared is commanding. Alright, and with that, I need to get a frickin' sticky note out to write highlights down, because we've already begun with a lot of BS. Alright, Mike Squared going forward. Alpha has Murphy, Goose, Nolik, Tom, Salt, Fawn, Snodgepair, Daedalus, and Crazy. Bravo has Banks, Tackleberry, Eric, Swola, Harana, Vagrant, and Wheaton. With Bravo 1 having Ash, he'll probably merge in later. Charlie has Bates, Gordon, and Norris. Charlie 1 has Iqbal Hunt, Michael, Kabubi Face, France, and Ember Rose. Charlie 2 has Patriot, who is scoping up to be on top of the ball. And then Yo and Marcus in Delta 2. Green 4 being led by Charlotte, who is on the multi, by the way. If you type ! multi, you'll have Charlotte and Yanni Finn. For some 2 on-the-ground POVs, and it looks like I think both of them are going to be Green 4 this time around, but I digress. Nas going to be leading Alpha with 6Me as the 2IC, Lolo as the Marksman, Seismo as the Medic, Alpha 1 as Defso leading Kremet, Waldo, Hunt, Alexander, Cheeseburger, Demovar, and Lolo, and Alpha 2 has Arkin, Omri, Friend, Kiri, Tomer, and Sonnen. Don't know how to pronounce the rest of that. Bravo has Rambo Bambo, Rocky 19 leading, with Maxic as the Marksman, Smith as the Medic. Bravo 1 has Helgi, and then Bravo 2 has Nast and Flying Finn. Charlie being led by Nemesis with Katz as the Marksman, Wise as the Medic. Cullis, Dream, Yanni Finn, Malin, and Wayne are Charlie 1. Charlie 2 has Grass leading MLG, Whiteside, Jabby, Cambu, and Damien. Overall, this AO, if we were to look at it, we've got 1 objective tucked away in this little building, and it's clear that Blue 4 is going to be trying to fortify and defend this one. That's where the RD gun is, and then you got the helicopter tucked away all the way over here. Normally, these would be accompanied with search zones, but I don't see any search zones, and we got 1 zone outside, so I think Green 4 knows the exact positions of these objectives early on. Green 4 also has the choice of 2 different spawn points. They can bring in units from either side. But I'm going to be honest, this AO sucks to fight. And the reason for that is these massive open strips of land for the runways just create massive freaking kill zones here. So assaulting this objective is easy. You just push in through the forest, you have this little opening here, a little bit of cover, get up to the fence, put a charge down or have some wire cutters cut that, put a charge down or break in through here, but this gives you a lot of cover to basically come around, have a lot of different routes. Then you make it your way in here, throw a satchel in here and run like hell. That's easy. This one is a bitch because there's a few creative ways to get there, but, I mean, the most obvious ones, you gotta run through the runway. And even though this is platoon versus platoon, you literally just need one squad in these little elevated ATC towers or all the way at the end of the runway to pretty much suppress with machine guns and murder the hell out of anything that might, you know, come down it, because it's a giant open flat area. It's so big that you have to throw multiple smoke grenades to get across it. It's very dangerous. You're probably going to die, especially with Blue 4 putting fortified positions on top of radar towers. Another creative way you could beat this AO is by going around all the way to the south and then trying to make it through the open areas here to then get up to this forested bit, and then you can use that to move all the way up to your objective. As you just saw through the camera, there's one fence right there. You could probably climb around the mountain mountainous little wall here, and then you can get on par, but Blue 4 is building a watchtower there. So this route also kind of sucks, and then of course you can have people get on top of this office building and deny that southern route as well. Your only other choice at that point is to maneuver all the way down here, still take a bit of a danger zone right here, which, you know, if this wasn't platoon versus platoon, you could see a squad or half a squad of people just defending this area outright. And then climbing up the same way. A little bit of forest, a little bit of rock wall to climb, and then you can just move on parallel. But that is why, in my opinion, this is one of the most unfair AOs ever. Because of how it's designed. If Blue 4 realizes this and just puts 2 squads to watch the runways, maybe half a squad to watch this open area, and then half a squad to watch that open area, this AO is pretty much impenetrable. The only way the attackers can win is if their marksmen just pick people off and they're able to create a gap to push through. Because otherwise, it sucks. That being said, when we look at the players here, we do have Scandi, some very aggressive, quick-moving players. We also have NASA, the OFCRA guys, also can be very aggressive, quick-moving players when needed. And then Blue 4s, I mean, we've got 1RW, which are pretty good on defense, not gonna lie. And then we've got some other players that we've seen week in, week again. So I'm gonna be honest, it's kind of a toss-up here because we're seeing stuff like this. Blue 4 knows where to lock the AOs down. The question's gonna become, can Green 4 suppress these positions? And with no assaulting vehicles to assist with that, they're gonna have to rely on their own guns, and it's... They don't even have a Delta either, so they don't have any dedicated machine gun crews that can suppress these positions, which shows me that Green 4 is gonna really try to stay mobile. But with a massive amount of units spawning here and then maybe a group up here, these guys might be sent down to go destroy that, and then Green 4 realizes that this is going to be the most important objective. How they sneak into that is going to be pretty difficult. I hope we see a team go around on the southern side, because, yeah, the approach looks really nice to get right into this position. That's not the threat. When you start getting up to this position, that's when it becomes the threat. And another issue with this side of the AO is it really lacks some of these high area positions to fire further into the airfield. You see some of them on the outskirts. You see an ATC tower up here. You can use these to lock down the outside areas, though this one's definitely a lot more exposed. But when it comes to engaging stuff over here, they got an ATC tower to look down at you. They got the top of that radar dome to look down at you. They have their own little towers that they can create to look down on you. And you really don't have a lot. You've got maybe 1 or 2 cargo posts that can do a little bit of overwatch, but those are going to quickly get suppressed. And then you just have flat open, you're screwed. Got a little bit of cover right here, but it's not going to really do you much. This AO is deceptively difficult. It looks easy, but I feel like the only way Green 4 is going to get their foot in the door is if Blue 4 doesn't properly defend the side, which is why I think there's going to be a really nice opening on the south here. And we might see a good chunk of units get not only onto the AO, but if they can weaponize this ACT tower, or they can get on the second story of these buildings and start picking people off and give some good overwatch as an assault team pushes in, I think there's grounds for Green 4 to win this. They just have to go the southern route. If they go through the middle, there's still a possibility to win, because all you really need to do, if you know the exact position of where the destroy objective is get to right here and start throwing explosive charges, collapse the building, and then snipe it with AT. So if Green 4 can do a massive smoke push and get charges on the building, because satchels, you're going to have to get even closer, and that requires crossing even more open territory, it's still possible. But as long as you can then expose this and then snipe it with AT from afar, there's still a good possibility. It's just Blue 4 have this place very locked down. So either way, it's going to be a touch difficult here. But hey, we'll just have to see how things play out. I think another interesting thing is let me look at Blue 4's loadouts here. So we've got PSO scopes for the SVD. I think one of the reasons they gave these NPZ railings was so that Blue 4 couldn't put the the PSO scope on one of the AKs. And then just have a sighted AK that could snipe people. I'm not sure if that was done on purpose, but that's a really nice balance call. Because, can you imagine a scoped AK up here just freaking massacring people that try to move through this open area? Bloodbath. Absolute bloodbath. I mean, they could have given it to an RPK, but they got the NPZ rail on that. Thankfully, I don't think it's compatible with the PKP. Actually, no, I think it is. PSO scope on a PKP, I think that is doable. I might be getting my games confused, though, but regardless... Messy ideas, man. Messy ideas. Those PKPs need to be put on high positions, though, ready to lock things down, but... I don't think Green 4 is going to put themselves in a bad position, but I've been wrong before, so we'll just have to see how this plays. Safe start has dropped. We've got a team coming down. They're going to follow that riverbed. They're going to get into that forest, and then they're going to disseminate into Destroy 2. I'm calling that now. Rest of the force, this group is going to be the one that runs around the southern side. Blue 4 running a few people down to that open area, though. Aw, dude. And then this force, what we could also see is this is a bluff to occupy these positions and pull as much attention away as they can. And then this force is going to run around and actually go for the objective. That's what I'm calling. Because obviously you don't want to run every single unit down there. You need to have some distraction. Otherwise, Blue 4 might wise up to, okay, they're either going to be going around and doing that or going around and doing this. So having some far shooting positions, especially if you could get on top of these rock positions right here and just blindly suppress, would be good. One issue, though, is putting that Hunt IR right above them right here. They should be just putting the Hunt IRs as close to the airbase as they can, but this might be a tip-off of... Look at where it's falling. Okay, that means Green 4 over on that side, which means they're making a conscious effort to go south right now, which might reinforce Blue 4 to strengthen that southern push. But we'll see what Mike thinks, especially his twin brother Mike here, and maybe they'll think of something. Look at Patriot's little hidey hole here, though. That's disgusting. I love it. We're hearing some more shots. That might have been another Hunt IR round that was just picked off. I don't see anything falling, though. Or it could have been Blue 4 shooting out some windows. Hard to say. Now we got another Hunt IR falling. I don't know if that's it. Nope, that was a Hunt IR. It's about to spawn, and... Yeah, okay, there it is. Spawn back there. That might have been one of theirs, though, but I think Blue 4 just auto-shooting them down. Again, that's smart. You're denying your opponent the ability to do reconnaissance through their Hunt IR, so they can't really find out where their positions are. Not gonna lie, this one's gonna be spotted easily, but, you know, maybe the cheeky things like putting a guy prone. And he's dead. Maybe the Hunt IR landed on him and killed him. Who knows? Hard to say, but, he did. And I agree with what Az is saying in chat. The FAMAS is a very fast-firing rifle. CQC within 5 meters, that added fire rate, since usually it takes a few shots to take somebody out, is definitely going to give them the advantage, but the AK has the stability over the FAMAS to be used at range, which makes them very effective at holding these open lanes. So if Green 4 can sneak enough people around, they'll have the advantage to get to that objective, but if Blue 4 can keep Green 4 locked down, then it's over. It looks like Blue 4 is going to fully abandon trying to grab this position. It would have been really cheeky if they put maybe an oh, yes they did. Look at that. That's a mine. They put it right here, so when someone comes around the corner, they get hit, and they put another one on the other side. We'll see if that gets any kills. Flare rounds now coming overhead. Interesting choice. They're already smoking. Are they going to go for a rush? They're trying to rush up to this position, but I think this is also a bit of a feint to just pull attention away. Yeah, they're flaring everything. They're trying to flare out the positions. Because genuinely, if you're down here, you can't see shit. Because the flares are so bright. Now you got some Blue 4 running around. Banks, I think, just got a kill with the RPK. So Blue 4 detected this plan and started taking people out because, again, they're in the open. Nemesis now trying to run up the rock side to stop additional forces. But the flares that have been deployed here are now blinding the green 4 elements so they can't shoot back. So great lockdown on the southern side, and I'm going to be honest, it's rare to see flares utilized in PvP, but when they're used, they're usually used to really great effect like that. If you can put a flare in front of a group of infantry and get it within 10 meters, it literally blinds them and they can't see in your direction. So now Green 4 have tried to push right here to flank this position, but they already pulled back, and now they're getting caught in another open position. This is a really great example of Blue 4 trying to inflict attrition, based off of forcing Green 4 to make choices to gain territory at the cost of manpower. And Blue 4, I don't think, has lost anyone on the southern side yet. We got Gordon down up here. He was taken out, as Green 4 are making a bit of a beachhead up here. But you also see a lot of distraction smoke thrown to the south as well to interdict. But it looks like all of Green 4 that have pushed up here have been taken out. And like I said, this would be suicidal. But again, I think they're just trying to pull attention away. And then you got these guys that are going to slowly go into that final position. AT fired up on this position. That takes a dude out. Good use of that shock weapon there. That's forcing Kabubi to get down and work on him, not realizing that he's dead. And now we got a few Green 4 on the edge right here. Banks trying to find a position to lock things down. But it is not looking good for Green 4. But it looks like that could turn around. They are trying to move up to this corner. We have a wounded guy right here. No medic in the vicinity, though. Medics are all the way back here. And it looks like these guys might be trying to make another advance from this one spot. I think Blue 4 pulled a bit too much attention down here. Because look at how thick the garrisons are right here compared to what we have in the back line. So these guys have folded back to afford Green 4 to make a foothold. This position's been heavily suppressed, and we got a big chunk that could move in as well. And then you got to remember Green 4 has a little bit of reinforcements that could come from the direct north as well. So Blue 4 really need to maximize on the positions that they can lock down on. I feel like they have a little bit too much infantry right here. If they're keeping these Overwatch positions, they could funnel a few more north, but at this point, this is allowing for Green 4 to make this beachhead. Alright, so NASA has made... They just throw... Yeah, he's going to try to collapse this with the explosive charge. He's got to be careful, though, that he's not close enough to blow himself up. And there it goes. And now Kabubi is stuck up here. And bullets can penetrate that little wooden position. NASA now trying to shoot up there. That's the one weakness about this building. It's very easy to collapse. It has a massive hitbox and not a lot of HP. Regardless, Green 4 hasn't been able to transition upwards here. And they're still pinned back here. We got more forces that are now trying to transition up to here instead. So Green 4's best bet to advance is their northern push, and that is going to be reinforced soon. Oh, look at this. Naf's might. Oh, he turns around on a deep side. Those mines really blend into the texture. Thankfully, they did a wide turn there. Helgi still might run into it, though. Kabubi finally gets knocked out. Got some GLs going off in this position. Bates trying to push up on his own. NASA and Seasma on the outer walls. Bates doesn't notice. Some shots going in, though. Grenades being thrown as well. Bates gets a really great grenade bounce that could get a double kill. Beautiful explosion by Bates, and he has stopped a small green 4 incursion to come in. A few more plays like that, blue 4 is going to win for sure. These guys still being incredibly cautious. Looks like they're trying to take out the aircraft with GLs. Single AT would do really well for that, but it looks like they don't even have any AT. And Helga trips the mine and kills both himself and Naps. Like I said, few more double kills. That's all blue 4 needs. No one noticed it. And that took them both out. Looking at the map here, you got green 4 starting to advance on different areas, though. We got some single engagements here. Marcus is being picked off. I think he was under and he got taken out by Waldo. And then you got Yo staying right here in the back doing a bit of medical at the moment. So I think green 4 is going to eventually get this position. They do have some forces pushing north, though, to potentially try to retake it. But we got a decent incursion going right here. Could be reinforced from that side pushing in, and then these guys could also come in. The trick, though, is will that other mine score a kill? I think Finn just noticed it, though. So blue 4 doing a great counterattack here. You've got a few green 4 guys to the south trying to come around as well, but there's way too much static defense here to stop 2 guys. They're going to have to continue to try to flank around. But now you've got green 4 in the worst possible position. They're trying to spearhead against the most fortified position blue 4 has. Ash gets blue on blue by Tilsiter. That's not what you want to see. That just shows they've got orders to shoot at anyone that might come close. Did you just throw a frag? Okay. That was weird. Yes, they're running around the mine. I think they're inquiring how those guys got destroyed, but... You got Maxic as a marksman up here. Not really going to be able to see much from... Well, he might be able to see some stuff, but engaging from the SVD with that range, Yo doesn't realize that Zixmi is hostile. Not going to lie, they're both lighter colors. Yeah, one's like patterned and one's solid, but from that distance, I can understand why Yo didn't realize that was hostile. Alright. Looks like they cooked it off with grenades. That's the first objective destroyed, but blue 4 was giving those up. And we just had explosives go off as they were trying to take out additional forces around it, but looks like they ran out of charges. So those 3 are still alive. They're looting bodies and changing out gear. But otherwise, look at the green 4 symbols compared to blue 4. We just lost the green 4 one right there. It looks like blue 4 might have this. Green 4 are being forced to go in various different directions and trickle in. Blue 4, meanwhile, have a solid single defense here. It could really go either way, but we also have the legendary rooftop camp, which is why this building is usually banned from having objectives on the top floor and the roof, because there's no way to stop people from just camping this angle. So we got some flares getting shot up here. That's definitely illuminating the area. Eric's trying to throw some grenades down to get them out of the little back room here. The weird thing is now we got blue 4 counterattack pushing here. Yanni just ran out of ammo. Duetson also runs out of ammo because that 25-round magazine. He's now pushing upstairs, but now he knows they're coming for him. Going head first isn't a good call. It's usually how you get headshotted. And Blue 4 again with another beautiful counterattack. They counterattacked up to the north, got most of their people out, pulled back. They're doing another counterattack, flushing out a few Green 4. Then you're going to see a pullback because Green 4 is too separated at the moment. If Green 4 wins, it's going to be because a random two-man team is able to get up there. But that's the power of the FAMAS right there. Murphy immediately gets knocked out. Cheeseburger takes some return fire from Wheaton. We got the Mini-Me now firing. He's doing his best to burst it and keep it stable, but they're now moving away from the objective. We got a few more Green 4 that'll start trickling in, a few more behind them. I think this route here is going to be the most deadly. It's the most obvious one to take, of course, but for Blue 4... they don't have a lot of long-range eyes on it, so you could actually see Green 4 get close, but... I don't know, I think Green 4's only hope is going to be there. Another grenade throw, and that's a double knockout. That's the third double kill we've seen. Second grenade goes over, that kills one of them. Probably put more shrapnel in Cheeseburger. Or his battle buddy absorbed all of it. But again, great use of explosives and small unit tactics by Blue 4. And great countering to everything Green 4's done. Alexander tries to line up a shot on Salt. He gets taken out. Honestly, we just need to see an explosive specialist get close enough to knock that building. That's all we need to see. Now we've got Green 4 making an advance on this position. This is where Blue 4 could potentially lose. Grenades going in. We got more grenades being thrown on the flank by Swola. He's trying to stop the push of that explosive specialist carrying that one guy. But this little wall is catching all the grenades that Blue 4 throws up. Swola catches Cambu. Cambu's had enough. And he gets headshotted by Banks. That grenade, it's a fire grenade, so it doesn't blow Tapu up. Zixme throwing a few grenades to distract. Again, we just need to see some explosive charge land on that building, and that will knock out a majority of that Blue 4 garrison. Meanwhile, big chunk of Green 4 coming around. Blue 4 have lost a bit of their defenders because a lot of them have pulled over to deal with this attack, but they are dividing and conquering. They've knocked out most of these guys. Once again, I run into questions like, are players like Zixme that have the skills able to solo this? But Blue 4's been doing a great job of just maneuvering their limited assets over to where they need them. But we have another wave coming in from Green 4. And the one from the southern side, I feel like Blue 4 might be getting stretched a bit too thin. Despite Blue 4 having a really great defense, something happened, and Blue 4 lost a few more members of their military side. And now they're stuck putting this little thin defense on. Bates firing at Swola. AT fired at Swola. A little bit of blue on blue. But they're still doing their best to cover this position. And I think Swola just found and eliminated Tapu there. Zixme trying to pick off anyone who's in the tower here. And someone... Yep, Green 4 squad leader. No, Blue 4. Just had a squad leader push up on that side and get blown up by a mine. Swola gets blown away by Vagrant in friendly fire. Multiple friendly fire instances for Blue 4. That's the third one we've caught. It might be things like that that are the reason that Blue 4 is not dominating a bit more as they should here. We've got two guys intermingled with a bunch of Green 4 here in CQC. Murphy's on the rooftop overwatching. Tom's is in a random building, but we got the rest of Green 4 coming around. These friendly fires might allow for Green 4 to get an opening to still destroy the objective. It's very close. Zixme's on 3 kills on his own, mind you. Do we have any explosive special? The only one is Malin now, and he's going to be the last group of infantry to come in at this point. So Green 4's infantry, unless someone's looted some explosives, have no choice but to try to clear this out. Sonic goes in. He ends up in a 2-in-1 firefight, gets cut down. Now we're seeing Green 4 doing a little bit of a lull. That's going to give Blue 4 more time to regroup. Green 4 do have the numbers right now, though. So if Green 4 do a unified attack from their remaining forces, they got some guys on Overwatch, they could do something. But Murphy, he's got an SVD. He's got the range to pick some people off. He just needs to come in at this point. I think he's going to get distracted by the footsteps coming up to him. He only needs to turn around when he hears ladder noises, though. But Malin has the explosives to potentially take that building out and destroy the objective from range. They just need to run him up at this point. Nalik shooting at Zixme. Malin trying to cross. Stops in the firefight. Sprays at Nalik. Gets a few hits, but no kills. Grenade thrown over. Murphy throwing some grenades down. Looks like he killed Demovar. Now if he goes on Overwatch and starts picking some people off, he could turn the game and guarantee a Blue 4 victory. But the question is he going to do it? Yo doesn't realize Waldo's right there. I'm so sorry, Waldo. Anyway, doesn't double tap, though. Waldo could still wake back up. Malin gets hit by Vagrant. And Yo also kills Zixme. Only to get killed by Smith, but that might have been enough. We got 2 defenders on. Smith gets taken out. Blue 4 down to 4, 5 actually, but Toms is just chilling in the back here looting. Murphy needs to come up on Overwatch at this point. But now all of the targets of opportunity have been taken out. Malin's still up. He could do it. Does he have explosives? A few smoke grenades is all he needs, but now we see the SVD marksman. It hits Malin. And there's a double tap. Green 4 are going to have to clear out the final position in order to win it here. But with 2 defenders remaining, we have Bates and Vagrant. This is very, very close. Shark, it is 1 part friendly fire kills and 1 part miscoordination on the slightest of things, because it really looked like the defenders were doing a great job. But then the stars aligned for Green 4, and they managed to basically push out. The guys the furthest away from the objective somehow timed their movement with the guys that were closest, and then they started really overwhelming that position and causing Blue 4 to look in every direction and get flanked out. Now with Blue 4 down to 3 people, and we're only 20 minutes into this round, the remaining 30 minutes of this round are going to be over quicker than we realize. The crazy thing is, we just need 1 explosive thrown on this building, and it's over. Wayne might go for the ladder. He might be scared off based off of the body. If I was Wayne, I would not try to climb that. But maybe Wayne's crazy. Murphy's too locked in right now. And now we've got a close round grenade push. Grenade's going on the rooftop. Bates realizing his mistake, trying to get some shots in. Really nice grenade cooking. Unfortunately, there's no one left on the rooftop, but that did a really good job to placate whatever fears they might have had. Tom's now running back into the AO, but it's really just up to Bates and Vagrant to hold this. Vagrant's dead. Vagrant's not dead. Huh. Tomer, buddy, if you have AT. No. Don't ask me how. I don't know how this black magic works. It just works, alright? Green 4 throwing a little bit. 1 piece of AT, if they were to pull it out and turn the corner and hit, like, even that part right there, they could destroy the objective. But again, they're going for kills. Waldo is going to do some freaking Navy SEAL action here. Kill him from the rooftops, if he can see him. He does not. Could get Bates. Bates is caught healing. Waldo doesn't see him. He turns too quickly. He's rushing it. He's nervous. Might catch Bates again. No freaking way. Oh, Waldo, you're freaking out, buddy. Maybe you'll see Bates this time? Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, there you go, buddy. Vagrant, the only one down here to lock things down at this point. Looks like Tom's and Demovar traded. Murphy trying to stay on the outside. He's no help, though, because he's busy trying to defend himself. It is 2v4. Well, Friend's unconscious, so 2v3. Maybe we could get some SVD pickoffs from the south, but it might just be up to Vagrant at this point. He's trying to throw some grenades up here. Not sure it's going to be much help. Finn is now pre-firing the corners as he comes in, and he is simply trying to mag dump the final gun. He can destroy it with that gun. Vagrant might realize what's going on, though. It's going to force him to push in. And he actually beats out Flying Finn. 2v2. Vagrant in the low ground, though. Waldo might jump him. Waldo's trying to jump him. He throws a grenade instead. Vagrant somehow runs back inside. Again, Waldo, we've already seen, he's very, very nervous at the moment. That was a silly call to throw a grenade in the middle of that fight when you had him dead to rights like that. He's going to now push in. Vagrant holding. Vagrant's going to hear him. What I'm worried about is Vagrant being prone right here and exposing his head. He's going to catch Waldo in the back. Oh my god, this is such a throw. Literally makes him do the frickin' angel dive there. And Maxic getting shot by a sniper. He goes prone. He's got an SVD. Unless he gets a lucky headshot on Vagrant, this is over. He's instead going to go for the counter snipe. Hits Murphy once. He gets hit once himself. Smoke goes out. Vagrant doesn't need to push. He's going to... That's GG. That was the smoothest hold I have seen in a hot second. It was still chaotic. Oh my god. If you bet green 4, I am so sorry. You should have had that. But you didn't. Wow. I kind of feel bad. I was right in the call. But at the same time, there were so many mistakes by infantrymen. And again, Blue 4 had 3 confirmed friendly fire kills there. If they didn't have those friendly fire kills, this would have gotten cleaned up a lot easier for Blue 4. But good god. It just goes to show, but for someone bringing explosive charges or AT to then pull it out and destroy the static instead, they would have won. But for some ungodly reason, they just weren't able to bring the guys with the right equipment up. That's nuts. Anyway, guys, we'll be back in a second. I'm tabbing out to let the next mission go. We'll be back in a moment. That's weird. Why isn't it playing? As an Arma 3 content creator, one of the most common questions I get from fans is where can I find a good Arma 3 unit to play in? One of my biggest recommendations is milsimunits.com. You can click on the Arma button on the main browser, and it'll take you to a page where you can see various different Arma unit listings. Each listing has a nice picture representing the unit, a brief synopsis, and the information you need to join the unit. Unit leaders can also sign up on the website for free by simply joining the website's Discord. I apologize for that little technical difficulty, but it all got sorted right. Regardless, we're going to be now on Corsac Winter, but Milsim Units, I'm going to be honest, when LaFlash first approached me, I was a little skeptical about it, but it's really grown. Honestly, faster than I thought it would, which is funny to say. But the communities they're putting up, getting on that site, I mean, they've got Karma now, they're getting Drewski on, at least, I might be confusing that with something else for Exfil, but I digress. Literally every community that is still around that I used to work for, bar maybe one or two of the small ones, is now on that site. So that's a really great resource for people to find a unit, because I'm going to be honest, navigating Reddit find a unit is a pain in the ass. And then navigating through 20 different Discords is also a pain in the ass, and most of us have the attention span of a freaking walnut. I don't know if TSB's on there yet. I just look through my Twitter feed to see the announcements they put up on adding new groups and whatnot. Ah, man, but let's get this next mission written up, and I will then pay out the prediction. This is round 2. And this looks like we got quite a bit of vehicles to work with here. Green 4 is attacking 3 blue 4 sectors. Green 4 has an... Nope, that's an 8%, not a 5%. Numbers advantage. 3 armed Gaz Tigers. And 2 BTR-80s. The rest is just transport. TR-80s and transport fix. While Blue 4 has 2 M11 117s. Okay. 3 LMG Jeeps. And an M1151, which I think is it's either a striker or an unarmed MRAP. I don't remember my designations that well. Alright. And then I promised we would change the music to something else. Do I got Walk in the Woods? Hell yeah. It's a good one when they decide not to frickin' mute it, but let me get it on loop. Again, going for the casual and the nice, good vibes there. Alright, most of them have been slotted in. Might be a winter-themed operation as well. Christmas in July. I love it. How you doing, Hockey Dude? And let's go ahead and pay out that prediction. I can't really call it an upset because I predicted that the side would win, but still kind of weird that it played out that way. It's going to be another green 4 attacking, blue 4 defending. Just verifying all the information. Yep. All right, let me go ahead and then put it up. There we go. Right, Ghost, we'll see you around. I will, I'll look at our DM chat again and see if we have anything to do this weekend. I'm going to be honest, my short-term goal is by the end of this weekend to have the YouTube channels front-logged for a while. And then I'm going to double down. I'm going to completely finish the 24-hour Arma Op prep, at least everything on my side. Send that in, get that tested. Then we're going to work on the 24-hour DayZ thing. I'm going to catch up on all the other Arma 3 ops I need to get in for the rest of this month. And then work on the 24-hour DayZ stream. And then by the time we get through all of that, then we've got the new POG pay-for-campaign to sort. And then, you know, the next batch of meme operations and, you know, probably putting another... dev goal up for, you know, probably a K or 2 and, you know, get some cool op ideas out. But I am taking a break from some of the 40K dev work at the moment. Because I finished out 2 of the communities in terms of all of the ops that you, the viewer, paid for through your generous donations. And I just want to take a break from it because some of it was a little bit of a headache towards the end, but... you know, on and off things, right? Got off playing DayZ, so you're feeling fine? Noise. Teams generally get shuffled, not at the community level. So, you know, if you come in with 7 other people from your community, you're going to stay playing with them unless you decide to split off. But they reshuffle everyone in terms of the communities. So it's different communities fighting different communities every time, or at least they try. Because usually what will happen, too, is... like, let's say for 2 rounds, since this is both a blue 4 and a green 4 thing, if you played green 4 twice, they'll no, they don't do it by faction. They go, okay, if you attack twice and this is round 3, you're now defending. If you defended twice and this is round 3, you're now attacking. They try to vary it out as much as you can. They can, just to make sure everyone gets a little bit something a little bit different every round at least. At least that's what I've seen. It's lonely in the commentator booth. We have a vibe of a song. Oh, 1 second. Okay, so Bloodwing woke up today and she was a bit sick, and oh god. Oh no. Oh no. Chat, you know what that means. Oh no. Oh no. No, it doesn't meet the network speed requirements. Oh no. Oh no. Alright, so after FNF, I'm going to have to run to the store. So Bloodwing, she woke up a bit sick today. She's not feeling too well, so I'm taking care of her. So if I have to randomly, like, jump off the stream, that's why. But I got to run to the store after to get a few things. We were going to make pulled pork nachos tonight. Oh, no. Yeah, something's throttling the shit out of the server right now, because we're getting yellow chains, and I'm receiving some way in mission file speeds. Oh, no, my internet. It's become South African. Help! Help! So, this is interesting. Because this could be one of a few different things. Now, I'm putting my technical thinking cap on. Because, again, I crashed out in the first mission. But I don't think that's related to this issue. This feels like either... This is definitely a network speed issue. I don't... It could be a DDoS, because we saw a lot of network issues here, and then it seems to be going back and forth. But this also seems to be a pretty solid speed right now. And, okay, no, it's not a DDoS, because people are coming back way too quick. The server is still processing messages really quickly. So I think this is just a throttling by the server provider from what I don't know. I mean, I remember we've had an op crash on us in the past because a French data server burnt down in, I think, like 2019 or 2020. We've had ops break because all the European players lost connection because an undersea cable got chewed on by a shark once. This could be a load of anything, to be perfectly honest. But it looks like it's speeding up now, so it might have just been a random little network hiccup with the server provider. Could have been a minor DDoS, technically, because some are pretty weak, but Arma's netcode is enough to, you know, suffer from things like that. It's not hard to DDoS an Arma server, unfortunately. But looks like it's coming okay now. Could be a stray missile hitting. Oh, no! My wire cable. It's another crashed Reaper drone in the Aegean Sea, and it somehow severed an internet cord. It's great. Alright, I gotta go get barbecue sauce, sour cream, Mexican cheese blend, cilantro, jalapeno, pico de gallo, and cochaga cheese. No, cochaga cheese, my bad. I have been blessed with tasks. All right. Green 4 starting at the top left. Blue 4 has 3 AOs. Right off the bat, since this is Platoon versus Platoon, I always recommend Blue 4 drop a sector. Hold 2 of them if you can. I'm going to be honest, probably preferable to hold 1. Based off of reading the map alone, this is definitely an attacker advantage map. We have very limited open areas. I would say just by looking at the map alone without getting a feel for the buildings, and these guys can teleport between AOs to actually look, and they'll get a fortify bonus. But this is going to probably be their best bet because we have the most locked down open areas around here. It's next to some roads, and then the roads help bifurcate, you know, some of the forested area here. So this is a decent AO choice. This one, we got some openings, but then it's all thick forest to immediately come onto the AO. This one, thick forest to come immediately on the AO, and it comes in from the slight high ground. Well, nah, it's very flat. So, let's see. Was I right in my top right choice? Let's go ahead. Sector 1. Oh, that sucks. Oh, so these forests aren't that thick, actually. Okay. No, that's actually pretty defendable. Never mind, but that's why it's always important to teleport around and see what AOs you can hold. Plus, we have a lot of 2-story buildings. All right, not bad. That is not bad. This is going to come down to who has the better machine guns and marksman rifles. This one, okay, also not that bad. It looked a lot more forested on the map. No, this is A-okay. Holy shit. I mean, this one's a bit tough because it gives them the high ground and whatnot, but still got some decent cover to work with here. How about my original choice, though? What does that look? Oh, my God. Overwatch access galore and a lot of opening. Oh, ho, 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 ho. This is my defender wet dream. Because you can take your fortify tool and add even more to that. And then this building, let me guess, you can get on the... I mean, even if you can't, they can just build a ramp to get up here. And then just create firing positions. Oh my God. And it's just big open emptiness. Oh my God. Yes. Defend this one, please. My God. Make sure you're not caster cursing. Whoops. Alright. Tasks here, Blue 4 defending 3 sectors, Green 4 trying to take the sectors. Green 4 takes all 3 or eliminates all. Blue 4, they win if Blue 4 are able to defend at least 1 sector by the end of the 50-minute round, or they're able to eliminate all. Green 4, they win. Briefing for this operation, mission details, fortify points are 100, view distance is 1,000, fortify points are 80, fortify color is going to be green, that's fair, because they have green or tan as options, and then the time limit is 50 minutes. Regardless, notes for this mission, fortify points only being 80, that does really limit how well they can fortify this area, but, I mean, the other 2, it gives them good openings to work with, but still, a little tough. Regardless, going back onto the tab here, no notes. Background, one of the numerous frictions of some AAF units and garrison peacekeeping units. Ooh, excuse me. While no one knows if such attacks were centralized or not, a column of motorized AAF infantry is trying to seize control of the region from the Austrian forces. Rolling hills with light woodlands, the area of operations, with little to no rock formations. Areas 1 and 2 are ruins, fortified in a hurry with sandbags. Area 3 is a garage, and it's parking lot. Attackers be warned, it's closer to the size of a car dealership than your average garage. Mission rules, none. Kill each other. Great. Blue Force loadouts, Austrian Army kits. So they're going to be having the AUG A3s, I believe, and then the Strayer AUGs. The marksman rifle is going to be the 20-round Scar H. Not a bad call for this round. 20-round marksman rifle, essentially. Handles a little worse than the Mark 11 in terms of recoil, but since Blue 4's on the defense, that's a pretty good gun to have, because it still has the heft of a 7.62x51 bullet compared to potentially giving like a 5.56 rifle instead. AT force for the single-shot disposable AT weapons. Here's the real caveat, though. They have the 2 best machine guns for defense. A Mini-Me, aka an M249, and then an MG freaking 3, aka the MG42 rechambered in 7.62x51, which has, I think, the fastest fire rate of all the machine guns possible in Friday Night Fights. That is a defense weapon where you don't have to worry about stamina. You can just bipod the weapon and pull the trigger. It's, yeah. In a platoon situation, I really hope we see some players with that. They have a Carl Gustav for their medium anti-tank weapon, and then some P90s. Look out, the Quawold! Anyway, the 1151, I was completely wrong. It's just a regular transport 4-man MRAP. They have 3 Jeep Wranglers with mini-me's on top. I mean, putting those on top of the car dealership would also be pretty based. The issue with that is, I don't think the car dealership building can be destroyed. That is from, both of those buildings are from Gulf Coast, which is a map. And I don't think they have destroy textures, because I remember using them a lot when we were doing our Half-Life rotation. God, like half a year ago. So I think those are fine. The 117s. Obviously, it's FNF, so they don't have their grenade launcher. They're replaced with a 7.62 coax. But these, especially if you send them out early on the MSRs that the enemy can take in, these can literally rush your opponent. And I've only seen it done right twice. But when they are done right and they do find their target, they can literally wipe an entire squad in like a transport truck within the first 5 minutes of the game. And it literally wins you the round. And it's the funniest thing to see. But it's a great reminder for when you're attacking an AO and you're going in a convoy, have your armed vehicle go first so it can cover you. Because if you don't, this thing's probably going to tear your ass apart. Giggity. Regardless, loadouts for Green 4 are literally Altis Armed Forces kits. Angry Greek people. So we've got G3A3s, which... interesting choice. That is a 20-round 7.62x51 battle rifle. I don't know if you could full auto it. If anyone can tell me in chat if you can, I think you can full auto it, because when it comes to CQC, we've seen in FNF that semi-auto in CQC versus full auto, even if your caliber is bigger, you're not going to win the fight. So, yeah, full auto is available for the G3, and then they got F2000s with some underslung grenade launchers with the red dot on the side. That I know you can full auto. They have PSG1s for their marksman rifle. Nice choice. And then they also have mini-me's, which is, I would say, the best offensive machine gun you can take because it's light, portable. It's got 200 rounds, and the stability and fire rate for it are just great. It's all in all... I think the best balanced machine gun that we see for the light machine gun category, but they're also assaulting with MG3s, which, again, good gun to have, but when you're hauling it around, and you're already a medium machine gunner, so that gun's going to weigh a ton. All the ammo you're bringing is going to weigh a ton. You really cannot sustain fire with it unless you have it bipoded, otherwise your accuracy is going to immediately, shoot upward. Your gun's going to shoot up. The recoil is going to make you do that. It is a really difficult gun to assault with. That being said, if Delta on Green 4 find a good assault position to overwatch from, that's where this weapon shines. It will be able to suppress the shit out of anything that comes there, that pokes their head up. That being said, fighting MG3s, which are already going to be set up and locking positions down, Green 4 might really struggle to find a position to deploy those, but they, regardless, also are going to be working with Mazes as their medium anti-tank weapon, and then we've got the MP7. Otherwise, they got 2 BTR-80s. Gonna be honest, the 117 almost always beats out the BTR series, unless it's an 80 Alpha, but 50 rounds of 14.5mm armor-defeating round versus 100 rounds of M2 armor-defeating round. Both have paper-thin armor, but the 117 has more mobility at the cost of being able to transport much less people. But again, just literally push with the 117s. You can't go wrong. 2 Gaz Tigers for transport, 3 armed ones. It's only going to have the 7.62. It's not going to have the AGSs because FNF is not based enough. And then transports. Which, again, they're all MRAPs, but a 117 is going to tear them the frickety-frack apart. Curie going to be commanding the defense on Blue 4. Sonnen, Fren, and Arkin leading Alpha. Looks like the squad leader, Sonnen. Fren is the marksman, and Arkin is a second marksman? Or are they giving the medics? No. How did he get 2 marksmen? That's based. I love it. That means he literally went to another squad's marksman role. It looks like Bravos. And then he formed up with... I'm not sure you're allowed to do that. But that's incredibly based if you can. Because you're just basically giving yourselves more lawn guns. Regardless. That's it. So it looks like Alpha is literally just going to be a vehicle hunter-killer team. No. Wait. Yeah, no, so they're going to be a 3-man team with 2 being marksmen, and they're stored in the back of... Yeah, they're going to be... Oh, that is funny. So they're going to be pretty much deployed outside of the AO and just try to, like, pick people off. Which I don't 100% agree with for Blue 4. I think if they were to hold a solid defense and lock a single AO down, since this is platoon versus platoon, they could definitely, with all these open areas and putting these machine gun cars in various nice spots, like in this parking complex, which it's breaking my damn heart that they're not using this parking complex up here, but I get it. There's going to be an enemy Moz somewhere, and that could snipe the vehicles out and create a very big risk for everyone else on that rooftop, but I digress. It's a crime that that AO is not being used, man. Like, you could not get more perfect lockdowns and then be able to fortify it how you want, but I digress. So Alpha is just going to be a 3-man hunter-killer team. We'll see if they're effective. Sometimes they are in FNF, sometimes they're not, and they're just completely pointless in the infantry, especially 2 marksman rifles to defend open areas. That would be a very great choice. So unless they run into contact, the opportunity cost of that could very well cost Blue for the game. Regardless, Norris leading Charlie, Whiteside as the marksman, Dewitson as a medic, Charlie 1 as Michael, France, Kabubiface, and Harrington, Charlie 2 as Helgi, Benny, Omri, Tomer, and Swola, Eric being the leader for Delta. Words. Tackle being the medic. Delta 1 has Major Khan Harana taking the MG3s, Wheaton as an assistant, Ashton Banks taking the medium machine guns, the MG3s, in Delta 2 with Waldo being the assistant. Echo is a 3-man team, so they got 4 rockets total. Charlotte being the gunner, Azuki being the assistant, and Seismo being the team lead. Looks like they're going to take a 3-man light machine gun Jeep. That's not a bad choice. Gives them a bit of point defense. And then Sam, Lolo, and Alexander being 1 vehicle crew. Bates, Iqbal, and Hunt being a 2nd vehicle crew. 3-man vehicle crews for 117s. I don't think that's needed because if I recall correctly, the commander just kind of sits in the other seat on the front. He doesn't really have any equipment, like a 3rd camera, like on a Striker, for example, that he can look around and do whatnot. So he's a bit of a useless choice, especially for both vehicles. And when it's 40v40, every man counts. You saw that in the previous round. Vagrant literally held against 3 people on his own. So every person counts when it comes to fighting like this. So wasting 2 on there, having another 3 go out, and the fact that Green 4 already has it's either a 5 or an 8% number advantage, they're really giving Green 4 a lot of extra little advantages here. And if those pile up and Green 4 just does a nice unified attack sector to sector, I don't see how Green 4 could lose this one. Otherwise, looking at Green 4, we have Depso commanding, seasoned commander there. Vagrant as his medic, Tymek as a 2IC. NASA leading Alpha with Arcane as a Grenadier. He's the 2IC. Malin as the medic, and SL Dream as the marksman with the PSG-1. I'm going to be honest, it is tough to say what I'd rather have, the PSG-1 or the Scar. Both are 20-round 7.62x51 NATO marksman rifles. I would say, no. The PSG-1's a marksman rifle. The Scar H is more of a battle rifle, but they can both be used in the same capacity, especially at this range. But Green 4 having the longer ranged weapons, just ever so slightly, could very well help them out in the push, and they've got the scopes to do it with ACOGs and whatnot, and Elkin scopes, but it's tough to say. Eklund, Elkin, I always butcher that. Regardless, Alpha 1 has Cheeseburger, Kremet, Lolo, Zixmi, Demovar, Hunt, Pogo, and Nemesis. Rambo Bambo, Rocky 19, Liam Bravo with Maxic as, I can't tell because it's not showing his gun. He could be a marksman, he could be a medic, he could be a 2IC, and that is it. So there's going to be a 2-man team. Charlie has everyone merged together. Goose leading Salt, Tom's, Crazy, Mike, Daedalus, Nolik, and Murphy. Delta being led by Grass with, looks like 1 machine gunner and 3 assistants. I've never seen that type of ratio before, but I kind of get it too because the MG3 is going to be a very difficult gun to work with in this situation. So they might just be using this as an additional rifle team. But at the same time, why don't they just fill in as a Bravo element instead and be able to field a 249/SAW? I don't know. Echo's going to be going full medium anti-tank. Cat's leading, Yanni gunning, Cullis and Wise being assistants, so 6 rockets total for them. Gonna be honest, Matt is definitely not the most prioritized thing here. but we'll see. That could very well turn around. Because MAT teams are like the old school X-ray teams in FNF where they just kind of run off and do their own thing, and sometimes they're effective and sometimes they're a complete waste of manpower. This is a forested map. It doesn't have these big open areas to snipe with AT, so it's just giving a group a license to go out and do what they want, and usually they're not that effective, especially when all you're really hunting are 111.7s. But that's just my opinion, man. Regardless, Golf 1 has Nudge Pair Fawns and Tilsiter. Again, BTRs, you don't really need that third command crew member either. He just kind of sits and does nothing. And then Wayne, as his own in Golf 2, they could just take the commander and give it to that. Okay, whatever. Now, commander roles for vehicles, even if they don't have anything, a really great thing they could do is in those aforementioned longer range maps where, you know, usually you have the Moz teams running out and doing their own thing. The commander can get out and spot for the gunner, and then the driver can be ready to bail if, let's say, they take a frickin' missile or rocket and they realize they need to, like, drive off immediately. That's fine, because the commander can then spot for the gun, range the shots, and the driver can, you know, just stay alert and also be another set of eyes to make sure they're not being walked up on. This is not that type of map, though. Because by the time they get into any position to engage this AO from range, they're going to be close enough to be engaged themselves, compared to, you know, the mountains on Takistan, where you can be, like, 800 meters away and literally rain lead on people. This map's much more CQC. So right off the bat, look at that 111.7 going out. Other ones going out and playing defense, I don't agree with that call. You literally just had to send one 111.7 one way, one 111.7 another way, and you could have just locked down the MSRs. And with that knowledge, you would then know that, okay, Green 4 is instead either going the one way we didn't check or just flanking around the entire map. And then you just reassess your defense accordingly. Gonna be honest, I feel like with a seasoned commander that knows how to properly use a 111.7, this map is favoring defenders on that aspect alone, because 111.7s, what you do is you just drive them out. If they take contact, cool, they shoot back. They'll probably die, but they're going to get a much higher KD, and then leave it for the rest of your guys to assault whatever paltry force still survives. If they survive and don't run into contact, literally just do this. Whoop, whoop. Just patrol the roads from the back, because what are the odds that they're going to have rear security? Then they'll be able to either find nothing, which tells you that they're not there, especially when they have a bunch of vehicles, because they'll be able to drive up to their spawn. Look at this, though. 111.7 driving up. This is Echo, though, so they could get their AT out. And again, that's the risk you take when you start backtracking like this, because you might run into enemies that are deployed, hear you coming, and take you out. But you can either find the enemy, and again, it risks an engagement. You can either find nothing, which tells you where the enemy isn't, or you find vehicles that are dismounted, which tells you where the enemy is. The question, though, is, can your people disseminate that information? Oh, he's dead. He goes up here thinking it's safe, and that is a complete misconception on his end, and he's dead. So, I want to measure something for you real quick. Green Force spawn was here. This position is a click and a half away. Blue Force spawn was about here, which is a little longer, but it's also roughly a click and a half away. In a map like this, where it looks big, but it's still a 3x3 grid, a little less than a 3x3 grid, and you have to travel half the distance of the entire diameter of the map, unless that's your immediate position you go to, don't assume it's safe. Because what they did is they went here, they didn't see anything, and then they just went on this hill and decided to overwatch instead. And they're fighting Gazes, which can literally push the green 4 element about as quick as the blue 4 element. So blue 4 basically gave themselves a false sense of security, assuming that they weren't going to push ahead, and they paid for it. Liru, you're assuming they're thinking. You're right. Oh my god. I'm so sorry to go on a tangent, guys. I forgot. It's Friday Night Fights. Not Friday Night Logical Fights. Or Logical Friday Night Fights. There's no L in it. Of course. God, what am I thinking? Look at this position, though. I think their plan was literally to cover the flanks with the 1117s to deny edge of the map push. So now you see Blue 4 sending reinforcements up because that got sniped, and I think the guys that left the vehicle heard it come from the south, so Blue 4 might think there's an assault coming that's already been put here, but they're not 100% confident with it because they still have the 1117 all the way out here. I get using the 1117s as static defense and moving turrets. I get it. It's great. But I think you could do something a little bit better with them by pushing them out in areas like this. But look at where this gas is going to go. This 1117 might be able to still have a pretty nice KD to shift things out. You got to remember, they can scope in with that 50 cal in there. It's not much, but they still have a little bit of magnification. There you go, actually. I can show you. Iqbal getting absolutely no kills with that. Oh, I just saw blood. He definitely got a kill. I saw 3 blood splatters. He smokes the engine. And you're telling me that had to have gone to somebody else in the vehicle then. I am actually amazed. I saw no knockouts either. Dude definitely got some kills with that, and the game did not give it to him. You saw those 3 blood splatters. That's 50 cal, mind you. Gazes, I mean, they're technically MRAPs, but they're paper thin. Like most Russian tech, it doesn't really do what it's supposed to. I'm sorry, that's mean. It's tried and true, meant to be mass-produced, which is great for AKs, but really shitty for quote-unquote bulletproof vehicles. Regardless. You've got a BTR now blind firing. This 1117 knows their stuff here. They're going to be able to radio that in. That's going to make this garrison breathe a bit easier. But we see that Green 4 have basically sent in some small teams to try to check out where certain sectors are. Final end plan here is going to basically be Sector 3 gets taken, little bit of defense on it, sure. Sector 2 is going to get taken, no resistance. Sector 1 is going to be where the main fight is. What I'm worried about is the MAT team now pushing out on their own and learning the hard way that this place is defended. They might be able to push away, might get intercepted. But this is going to be a long game. Because that 1117 is going to harass this group. Honestly, these guys need to be pushed around to deal with that. They should be flanking around the edge of the map and focus on it since they already got 1 kill. And now they're just kind of stalling right here. And you got other blue 4 elements watching it like a hawk. So now it's pushing out to the edge. Oh, it's just going north. Never mind. But this 1117 is going to stay defensive. You hear that BTR firing. Again, I am genuinely surprised it got no kills. Where's the grenade? Where's the grenade? Where's Blue 4's grenade? Thank you. Not going to be as effective. I can't believe he didn't even notice that. He gets knocked out. That. Great example. So the fact I just witnessed a bunch of dudes rush in, they still got it. They flanked around. They got the 3. But let's see. I see 1, 2, 3 dead Blue 4. 1, 2. Oh. Actually, I might stand corrected here. Huh. No, I definitely stand corrected. A lot more Green 4 survived there.
We'll see PLS
it was 2 to 3.
offers.
Huh. All the more reason why they should have thrown the grenade. I don't know why they rushed in like that, but that just goes to show the perceived threat of this AO. They probably thought because of the sandbags that this is where Blue 4 was hiding, so they opted to just rush in and try to take it like that. But it's a good lesson there, though. If you're in that situation, vehicle drives up and stops next to you, throw a grenade at it. Because they're going to dismount, and that grenade is going to blow the hell out of them. But yeah, that one's a lesson of if it works, F it, but that had no right to work that well. Meanwhile, Green 4 now pushing on this objective. And now we're just going to see Green 4 basically regroup and then push the final sector. Might see the 1117 come in and get a few licks, but that was a weird one. Shame it played out that way. I thought Blue 4 would hold a bit better, but definitely they seemed very confused on the fact that they got rushed like that, but still, shit happens. There's Sector 3 taken. But why not? Thanks for the 25-month resub, buddy. I hope you keep enjoying the operations, and I do hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. And Dango, welcome, buddy. So I guess the battle rifle is a choice they can take. No, okay, no, he put the ACOG on his gun. I was about to say, because I see that with no scope, but no, he just took it. Hey, combat looting, if it works. Who's winning? It is impossible to determine that. Green 4 are going to get 2 of the sectors, but Blue 4 is only really trying to hold the first one. And there hasn't really been enough lost on either side to make that determination. Attrition-wise, Blue 4 is down one of their heavily armed vehicles. Blue 4 is down a few more infantry. Green 4 started with the number advantage. They're maintaining that number advantage. They've even widened it a touch. I think these guys just shot at the Hunt IR that only these guys could have shot up anyway, so a little bit of miscommunication that's to be expected. But now you got the BTRs pushing on their own. Could get intercepted by Blue 4's medium anti-tank team, because that's Echo. So that could shift immediately. But I'm going to be honest, BTRs, I can't think of a worse support vehicle than a BTR in Friday Night Fights, and I mean in all of PvP. It's a vehicle, it's a transport, it's got that 250 round PKT, it's got that 50 round KPVT, 14.5 millimeter. It's really great for basically penetrating into areas that have that coded. So let's say you have infantry in a house, you can just fire that in, and it's going to hopefully penetrate the first wall and get some hits, but it doesn't always work, so it's not reliable. But nice shot. More often than not, it gets cooked off. They've got black smoke coming out of that, so that's about to flame out. There's objective 2 taken. And there's the flame out. So they were transporting an infantry squad up. It is mostly dismounted. Got the gas now coming around to flank. But is the 1117 going to be of any effect? It might follow the MSR around and potentially pick these 3 guys up. Well, the gunfire is just going to allow for Blue 4 to replace their defensive positions to face things accordingly. You got some GLs firing up here. But yeah, the entirety of that team's going to be able to get away. Meanwhile, that team's now heading north, might run into the 1117. So both sides down a vehicle, but I'm honest, guys. Can you think of a better supporting vehicle? Excuse me, a worse supporting vehicle than a BTR? Because the turret turn rate also sucks, but you're stuck in a weapon scope that you can't magnify. You know, I'm going to level with you. I think I would prefer the BTR 40 rather than the 60, 70, or 80. Here's why. I know for a fact... Oh my god, wait a minute. No way. Okay, I thought he was going to ambush them, but no, the other thing happened. I thought it. I caster cursed him in my thoughts, but regardless. BTR 40, you have this wide open area in front of you. So, yeah, you are going to expect to probably get absolutely blown away. But you go in with that expectation. BTR, you think you're armored and you're safe. And that turret is very, very limited in its viewpoint. At least with the BTR, you can quickly look around and get a feel for your surroundings. And you feel exposed, so you play more defensively. BTR, you're just kind of stuck with that. Plus, I mean, 50 rounds of 12.7 compared to 50 rounds of KPVT. I mean, that's also not a bad trade-off. I mean, you don't have the PKT, but I'm going to be honest, if you feel comfortable enough on a position to be able to empty out all 250 rounds of that PKT before you need to reload, you're either curb stomping your opponent or you're about to die. Yes, but the UAZ has mobility. I'm going to be honest, UAZ Dishkas are not really meant to be for the Dishka. They're meant to cover a team of people to be super mobile. Or to be given to a, a three-man mat team so they have a little bit of point defense. Now, whether or not they, hit a rock and kill their wheel, I mean, that's user error at that point. But you gotta remember, with PvP and players, this is what I'm talking about, by the way, that fortified position, he can literally just burst it on that spot, and this guy can range for him. That's the bullshit OP-ness of an MG3 in an open area like this. These guys are completely pinned down. You got the 1117 waiting on the rear line. You got the MAT team coming in on the rear. They're gonna hunt that other BTR, and then that 1117 come in and try to get some pickoffs. But with this being PvP, it is also all about the illusion of safety. And morale. How are the players feeling? Do they feel confident in their positions? Do they feel confident in their vehicles? If they're all armored up, do they feel safer? And thus they'll make more lax decisions compared to someone in an open top BTR 40, realizing he could get headshot at any second, so he's gonna stay alert. Oh, players will always complain about frames, regardless of what they want. Trust me, I've been Zeusing for 8+ years. I know. Now, granted, BTR here is in a good spot. It can find some really long-range angles and start really suppressing those buildings with the PKT. However, if there is a MAT team skulking around on the rear, they're going to easily be able to identify the vehicle and snipe it. Which I, honest to God, think we're about to witness. The age range of the Weewoo? Well, so the Weewoo are more of a migratory goat species. They're not really that well documented, but they've got sightings all around the world. Tough to say. And there's the other BTR taken out, by the way. I'm not a Weewoo expert, mind you, so I don't really have those scientific, I don't have the data for you, essentially. But it could be a range. Quite a range, even. But anyway, there goes the, both the BTRs for Green Force, so now they're just going to be relying on an infantry push. They have a really nice envelopment north to south with a focus on the eastern side. So any positions that are exposed on one direction or the other can easily get sniped, and you see a lot of smoke concealing movement here, but it looks like the southernmost group is lagging behind a bit. So we really need to see all of the assets on the outside of this AO start to come in and actually do stuff. Otherwise, truth be told, this internal garrison is going to get overwhelmed. And that is what I was worried about earlier when we saw that there were 3-man vehicle crews in the 1117. When we saw that there was a 3-man marksman team that was coming out. Blue Fort doesn't have the defenders to hold a single AO, because if you're going to hold a single AO, you have to 360 it. And the AO is very bare bones with defenders at the moment, and they're just getting cut down. They don't have the amount of players to actually hold the line, and now you're going to start seeing breaches here. So I think Green Force won this by proxy, because Blue Fort just decided to take what little manpower they had. So, I mean, look at this. You got 4 dudes out here. You got 3 dudes in the vehicle here. You got 3 dudes out there. That's 10 dudes. That is a fourth of Blue Force manpower. More than a fourth. If they've got about 35, that's 2/7. They had those extra 10 people watching buildings. They could very well prevent Green 4 from pushing in through these open areas, because you still see they're able to stop a few, but it's not enough. So Blue 4 essentially defeated themselves in detail by splintering off some of their forces here. Again, still seeing some decent holds here. You got the 1117 trying to pull back in a panic, but by now we have way too many players on the position. And as Blue 4 try to reconsolidate, they're getting shot in the back. It's over. Just a matter of time at this point. And that sucks, because Blue 4 was handed a pretty good AO, but for whatever reason, they decided to put forces on the outside. Because you have the 3 people that died in that other sector, you got 3 people die in a 1117, it should have been 2. You got the 4 out there, you got the 3 out there, which again, it's the MAT team, but do you really need a MAT team to go out and hunt 2 BTR-80s? If they are 80 alphas, I'd get that, because autocannons are really good at locking vehicles down. But 80s? Freaking 80s, dude? That's not needed. A lot of bloated rolls here. And again, these still don't have a kill. They've knocked out 2 Gazes, but they were already here. They already did their job. I feel like they nerfed that 50 cal. That dude should have been blown away by the 50 cal, and yet he's survived. Sector's being taken now, because they have a massive amount of infantry in said sector. Yeah, then we have a knockout. I feel like 50 cal might have gotten nerfed. Halfway through. The 5.0 cal. No changes in framework? Weird call then. I don't know why that 1117 is not being super effective then. "30 seconds.
Send in Go Team 6 now.
Funny.
I am here for my alimony.
You ain't getting it. The lawyer said I didn't have to pay you a dime. Iceberg, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for the 52-month resub. Hope you keep enjoying the operations. Hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. Now you got MG3s and everything trying to suppress the vehicle. That turret can eventually get disabled. You can also eventually break the glass. Is that an explosive? Nope, just a grenade. Yeah, they got no choice now but to dismount. They instantly get killed off. Because look, they only need 2 people to operate the vehicle, to drive and gun it. Thus, that third roll was completely pointless. You actually started a career? Nice. Match GG. Well, Iceberg, I did know Boeing needed assassins, so, you know, I'm happy for you, buddy. I'm sure that you have got a very long career ahead of you with all those whistleblowers. Regardless. I don't really know what to say about that AO. Like, Blue 4 put way too many of their forces outside of the actual defense, and they got completely overwhelmed. You didn't see that in the other AO. In the first round, they kept everything on the defensive area. They had a few units just about 100 meters north of it, but they kept everything in positions to specifically defend the objective. They won that. This time around, they had units just going off on their own doing God knows what. If they kept the marksman internal, if they kept that 3-man team internal, if they kept the 1117s on the outskirts ready to come in an ambush, or they just kept them patrolling the roads, it would have been fine. I'm not actually mad about what they do with the 1117s. I'm more mad that they put 3-man crews in them instead of 2. That was also a waste of infantry. But oh wow. By demons be driven. We're back to, I think it's, was it Wombat writing these? Because he always puts Warcraft 3 references in his titles. Regardless, we'll be back after these messages. As an Arma 3 content creator, one of the most common questions I get from fans is where can I find a good Arma 3 unit to play in? One of my biggest recommendations is milsimunits.com. You can click on the Arma button on the main browser, and it'll take you to a page where you can see various different Arma unit listings. Each listing has a nice picture representing the unit, a brief synopsis, and the information you need to join the unit. Unit leaders can also sign up on the website for free by simply joining the website's Discord. Arma's changed, Iceberg. Arma's changed. Alright, Alapera. Which, funny enough, we had the war games flying around last night. So we'll see where on the map this is. Alright, what do we got for this round? And I'll pay out the prediction in a second. Op 4 is attacking 2 blue 4 sectors. Op 4 has an 8% numbers advantage, a BTR 80, a KVPT Gaz Vodnik, and an M240 static, and transport, while Blue 4 has... Oh, no, I misread where the, Yeah, because that also is... Okay, my bad. Blue 4 has the M240 static. I was about to say, it's really weird that Op 4 has it. A KPTV MTLV. And some trucks. Alright. Let's go ahead and put the prediction out, so we can pay it. Yeah, the attackers just absolutely wiped that. Good God. And I agree. No, Reforger, I've played it twice recently. Once 2 weeks ago with World War II mods, and then last Wednesday with a lot of the modern day mods. It's still buggy. I've got a really funny video ready to post, all cut up for Armor Reforger content. I just need to find the time slot to do it, but it was fun. It was a good way to kill 2.5 hours. Still has a long way to go to get to Arma 3, but the quality that Reforger is on right now after about 1.5 years of effort, a little less than 1.5 years actually, compared to where Arma 3 was after 1.5 years, is night and day. And a lot of people fail to realize that Arma 3 is 11 years old. So it's very promising. But again, still needs some more time in the oven. But that's just me, in my opinion. Yeah, Arma 3, back in the day, I remember seeing content of it on YouTube, because I didn't get into the Arma scene until about 2016 for Arma 3. I was in DayZ, not the standalone, but the mod, for a very long while. But yeah, from what I saw in the early days of Arma 3, CSAT Terminator AI shooting you through like 3 bushes or some BS. I'd say the pathfinding that we see in Reforged right now and how the AI attack you still needs a little bit of work, but it's much better along than Arma 3. I said DayZ. I'm an idiot. Sorry, multitasking. But y'all know I can't even English properly anyway, so... You know. Done through laser beams, yeah. Alright, so we're down to 64, so it's gonna be like, gosh, 30 versus 34 or something. 31 v 33. So we're under strength platoons at this point. Alright, well, other things we have, Daisy tonight, obviously. If you guys want to troll me, I'm gonna run to the store, get a bunch of stuff for Bloodwind because she's sick right now. Come back, get prepped for Daisy. We'll get out our handy-dandy Plinko board. I'm going to shoot for 8 to 9 in terms of start time, Ian, but it just depends on IRL. At the very latest, we'll start by 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is in 4 hours, 5 minutes. And we'll go for at least 2 to 3 hours. No Plinko girl. Yeah, she's sick. I'm sorry. Saturday, I've got 10 p.m. planned with Stillwater Security Solutions. Might have a 7:30 Opta stream as well. That day I'm celebrating Father's Day plans, though, because Sunday we couldn't find what we wanted, but Saturday was completely open. And then Sunday, I think is going to be 506. Maybe we'll be able to do some Artsy Columbia as well. And I might sneak a Zeus op Sunday morning. But you'll know if you see an announcement by tomorrow if that's going forward or not. Monday will be Wells's Fallout op. He's already been testing that. I have another version I need to upload to a server for him to look at. Tuesday is going to be another Stargate op, and then Wednesday I'll think of something. But Wednesday we'll at least have 506 Korea, and then I'll get something else going. Frankie on PC. Yeah, I mean, his stuff was heavily scripted, but he was one of the guys that brought a lot of people to DayZ. At least the Arma 2 standalone. Similar to how Soviet Womble 4 years ago brought a lot of people, not even 4, like 6 years ago, brought a lot of people onto Arma 3. So yeah. Justin, I have not had time to look at your document. I'm gonna be honest, the 24-hour Arma op has taken a lot more of my time than I thought. But I'm 95% certain I'm gonna be fully wrapped up with that by the end of this weekend. Now, it's being run on the 6th of July, but I want to make sure everything's prepped and ready to go beforehand. And yes, I am, Iceberg. It's gonna be fun. I'm not hosting it, though. It's being hosted by the Milsim Units guys, which is the same group that you just saw the ad for. 4IB, 15th MEU. I can't remember the other two communities off the top of my head because my mind is racing. But yeah. They're running all the logistics and whatnot. They're fielding all the players. I was literally brought in just to make sure the mission goes. It's going to be 8 3-hour mission files. The first 4 showcasing things from each of those 4 communities, and then the second 4 are going to be completely mixed up. Starts at noon, so the first 12 hours till we get to midnight are basically going to be, you know, when most people are up and doing stuff, and then the, you know, next 12 hours is going to be the graveyard shift of whoever comes in, comes in. Because my mind is raisin. Oh, Justin, you don't want to go there. You don't want to find that, don't worry. Have I set a day up for the 24-hour DayZ op? No. So, unfortunately, in my grand scheme of things, the 24-hour DayZ stream, it's a little lower on the to-do list. It's over the next pay-for-campaign, though. But my schedule of events right now is I want to get the 24-hour Arma 3 stuff squared away. I've also been doing a lot of doubling down on video editing. I mean, again, this is where I started the stream talking about this, but Monday, actually this week, I have one of my drives, which I use for storage space, was at about 620 gigabytes remaining. It is now at 1.22 terabytes remaining. So I've basically gone through about 600 gigabytes of footage. And I've made a frickety heck ton of videos out of that. Because I'm really trying to get through the damn backlog. But that's been one of my focuses right now, because YouTube, some interesting things happened, and now we're actually getting a bit of traction again, but I can't tell you why. Regardless, we're just basically just trying to get everything sorted. What units for a 24-hour op? Again, 15th MEU, 4 IB. Let me tab out and look. Okay, so I'm going to be honest, most YouTubers are that way, but most YouTubers are in it for a player or a person's content, not their personality. Meanwhile, for Twitch streamers, it's the opposite. People are usually there for the personality and not the content. But I've worked with a lot of people that are definitely bigger than me on a personal level, and there's very few of them that I like. I think Karma was the last one that I actually enjoyed working with. It just sucks because most of it I wasn't working directly with him. I was also working with Mooskal under him, but he was also good. But I've worked with a few people where, oh, I have a do not work with list at that point. And I'm pretty sure some of them have me on their list as well, because I am not afraid to tell someone to fuck off at this point. Alright. I'm tabbing out to look. Oh, damn, Tigers got removed from Razor server. Oh well, I mean, y'all have been spawning a bunch of freaking dinosaurs in anyway. Okay, mill some units, Discord. Alright. 3rd ID, 4th ID, 2nd RB, and 15th MEU. Well, there's also 173rd. So I think 4 ID and 3 ID are part of the same subgroup. Like, they're subgroups of the same group. So it's 4 ID, 2nd RB, 15th MEU, and 173rd. Those are the 4 groups. Yeah. I have had a few people DM me to ask how they can attend that op, and I literally told them, like, I'm not hosting this one. If this one goes well, I wouldn't mind in maybe the fall, because this is taking the place over for my MCU. I would very much then prefer to do maybe like a 12 or 18 hour stream and just do a bunch of missions back-to-back in a similar campaign. And then I could have it funded by the viewers or something too. But again, that's in the distance at this point. There's so many other things I need to get done beforehand, and I'm just trying to do my best to get everything that I can get done. So we'll just have to see how things go. Do I have room on my hard drive for a 24 stream? Yeah. Oh yeah. No, as I just said, I've got 1.25 terabytes free. And I usually stream at a ratio of, it used to be 20 gigs an hour. I recompressed the footage though, because I realized after doing some testing that YouTube was still like not giving the quality I was putting out. I was basically producing videos that were too high of a quality, and YouTube's compression was murdering them. So I was able to get I think it down to, I want to say 12 to 15 gigs an hour, depending on what goes on. So let's take the high end of that. What's 15 times 24? That would be 15 times 10, which is 150, times 2 for the 10 to 20, which is 300, and then plus the 60. So that's 360 gigs. Yeah, and then the part-time has it right there, 360 gigs. So, yeah. Oh, Shark, I have 8 terabytes. 1 terabyte is dedicated to Arma mods. 1 terabyte is 500 gigabytes are dedicated to Windows files. 1 terabyte is dedicated to other video games, and the rest is video storage. I still have 4 terabytes of video on my computer through working on a bunch of stuff. Oh, yeah, and 1 terabyte's dedicated to Spice and Wolf hentai. Of course, right, yeah. Nah, come on, we gotta keep it in character, guys. 1 terabyte of goat hentai. Goat girls, yeah. All of that. Oh, and shrimp, right? And then hamsters, yeah, all of that too. Yeah, of course, right. Oh, and turtles, right, because people think I'm a turtle too. Yeah, stuff like that. Let's go. But yeah, like I said, I have videos from 2020 that I still haven't edited. So I gotta get on that. Guys, looks like they're getting some stuff circled, so they're talking about little land bridges here that Op4 can use to maneuver into these 2 sectors. We're on the southern side of the map. Why the heckity heck did I spawn all the way up here? Let's go ahead and fix that real quick. But yeah, let me go over the AO, and then we will talk again. Let me go ahead and put a prediction up. And we'll go from there. Alright, Op4 is attacking, right? Blue 4 defending? Yeah. Blue 4's defended all 3 rounds. Interesting. Alright. And we'll set this for 15 minutes as we listen to Covenant Dance, because it is a pretty nice song. Something just exploded. Okay. We got a nice little urban area here. Looks like there's some dynamic stuff that's blowing up in the background. That is pretty nice. But again, we're on the southern side of Isle of Para along this area, and we're going to get very acquainted with this map in POG because I'm going to be running 4 missions on it regardless. Let's go ahead and look at our mission details. Op4 trying to attack 2 sectors. Blue 4 trying to defend those 2 sectors. Briefing for this mission. Mission details. A kilometer render distance. 100 points for the fortifications. Fortify color is going to be green again, and obviously 50 minutes for our Friday Night Fights match with the 15-minute safe start. We can track that time up there. Notes, a few rooftops have been blocked, mostly the white tall office buildings. This is what I was talking about, Azariah. They block it because it's such an unfair building. Background, losing a helicopter. Yeah, it's like when I spell. Losing a helicopter during an exercise is bad enough. Losing it to a non-friendly territory is even worse. A naval infantry force has been sent to deal with the repercussions, securing the wreck and the main path to it. Air of operations, 2 land bridges and a wooden one have been added near the northern part of the AO. I think it's meant to say, oh, that's an R. I'm just being dyslexic. Urban terrain, and with some versatility possible. The rest being light jungle, overall flat apart from a few natural bumps. Mission rules. And Blue 4 are going to be... Let's go ahead and actually click on them so we can watch as they fall in from the sky. But anyway... Blue 4 are going to be Dutch. How does that quote go from Austin Powers? There's only 2 things I hate in the world. People that can't understand other cultures. And the Dutch. Something like that. When his father says that, but I digress. We have a choice for Blue 4. It looks like they... Is that the marksman? No, that's the marksman rifle choice. Okay, so we have long barrel Scar H's for the marksman. We've got M16s for the main player base. I don't see any grenadier rifles. We got AT4s for the single shot disposable AT weapon. M249s or mini-me's for the squad automatic weapon. Okay, so now those are M16A3s with 203 systems. GPMGs for Delta. Maz's for the medium anti-tank team. And then MP7s for the vehicle crew. They have 2 transport trucks. A high 240... basically a static weapon that they can field if they want to, and then a MTLB KPVT, which just has both that little PKT in the front and additional KPVT in the back. So it technically has 2 gunners, which is kind of cool. Now, loadouts for Op4. Op4 are Russian Marines, so they're going to be the ones invading here. We're going to be seeing Ratnik uniforms, EMR, camo, AK-74s, AK-74s with the GP-25 Grenadier system, SVDs for the marksman rifle, RPKs with those 45-round banana mags, RBG-7s for the light anti-tank teams with 2 shots, and then the PB-2000 for their crewmen. Otherwise, vehicles include a Vodnik with a KPVT, but doesn't have a secondary turret, so it's just the KPVT turrets. KVPT, I keep seeing KPVT, my bad. BTR-80, which, and then 9 Gaz Vodniks. Interesting thing, all of these vehicles are amphibious. Can float true, can float true, can float true. And the players can also swim if they'd like. But regardless, they have all this ability to basically go any route they want to. in this limited AO. Otherwise, since we've gone over to Op 4 here, Tilsitter is going to be commanding, so going to be leading Alpha with Fonz as the marksman, and then you got Nolik, Toms, and Murphy under there as well. Alpha 2 has Daedalus, Snodgebear, and Mike altogether. Bravo has Banks with Swola as the marksman, Tackleberry, Helgi, Wheaton, and Harana altogether on Bravo 1. Bravo 2 has Ash, Eric, and Vagrant. Bates leading Charlie with Hunt, Norris, Harrington, Kabubi Face, and France. Charlie 2 has Grass leading Damien, MLG, Utapu, and Campu. Golf 1, which is going to be the BTR crew, has Waldo and Hunt. And then Golf 2 has Goose, which might be for the Vodnik. Otherwise, Blue 4, we have Smith leading with NASA leading Alpha, with Major Khan being the marksman, Pogo, Lolo, and Kremet under him. Tymek with Alpha 1 with Six Me, Cheeseburger, Wombat, and Phenomaine. Bravo has Dobbs leading with Arcane as the marksman. Nemesis, Malin, Wayne, and SL Dream under Bravo 1. Delta being led by Curie with Sam, Seasmo, Charlotte, and Alexander taking the GPMGs for the mean machine gun rolls in Delta. And then Lolo as the group's medic. Cats has Echo leading. Yanni Finn with the AT gun. Cullis and Wise being the assistants. A little worried about that because that's going to be 4 infantry out doing their own thing. And then Max Sick, Rambo Bambo, Rocky 19, and the KPVT. Not going to lie, could benefit from a third gunner. This is one of the rare vehicles where having a 3-man crew is actually decent because it has 3 spots that are actually doable. And then Depso being alone in Alpha, he just merges up to be within Alpha Actual there. Otherwise, Blue 4 have to hold this sector here on the coast, and then they have the other sector which has the crashed helicopter. They're holding basically the Russian Mi-48, and the Russians are trying to come in to take these positions back. So a nice fortified area here with a lot of open areas towards the north, and then the other side has a bunch of CQC. Is there any penalties to leaving the AO? No, other than the fact that you die. So other than that, no. You got 15 seconds to turn around. The exception, though, is if you're in an aircraft, you can leave the AO. It's just if they land and deposit you outside the AO, then the 15-second timer starts. But if you're in a ground vehicle, you get the notification, and if you don't turn around in time, you die. We did once watch the entirety of Scandia Recon get wiped because they drove out of the AO without realizing it and couldn't get back in on time, and they literally all died, and it was the funniest thing. Alright, so Op 4, looking at the 3 land bridges that we have on the northern side, we've got this one right here, and it's big enough for vehicles to cross, so they don't have to go super slow. We have another land bridge over here, and then we have the third one on this section right here as well. So, I'm gonna be honest, it's a bit more like wetland here because the water doesn't go too deep. Some of it looks like they would have to swim. Fish. God, it's like he noticed I was watching him because they immediately dove, but it's just a lot of open area here. Honestly, Op 4's best bet is to potentially come all the way around to get into this first line of urban buildings and just move building to building. I would not be surprised if we see Op 4 do a massive flank around just to get to this area, hit this sector first, and then go in from the town to hit this other sector, because look at all the flatness you can see on the map going into this AO, even from the northern side. It would be very, very risky to attack it from all this open area, so I very well expect Op 4 to just do a massive flank around. They could also try staying on the MSRs down here, and then utilizing these trees to then get into the buildings and attack from the south, take control of the hospital, try to get some overwatch. It's not going to really help them, but from the map's perspective, that does look like a decent position to hold from. But if Op 4 charges through these open fields, they're suicidal. And Blue 4 seems to have a very big amount of defenders here to hold from that. Hey, Nerwin, how you doing? Ah, so like Battlefield AO rules, exactly. A clip of it somewhere, I just don't know where. And Pierce play, I don't think Pierce is even on tonight. I haven't seen him. He might have been on the first round though, but I don't see him now. And when the world needed Pierce the most, he vanished. Man's gonna rush in, stop everything. Blue 4, though, we see a bunch of people mounted up in a truck, and they're going away. Nope, they're going north, so they might try to set up on a position to stop Op 4 from encroaching on this position. And, I mean, looking at the gap right here, you got the land bridge right there, and you got all this open area. So if they were to set up in, like, the tree line here, they got a little bit of elevation to work with as well. They can dig some fortifications. They could also try to go on some of these rocks over here. They could do a bit of locking down. And honestly, they don't even have to drive that far to get to that position compared to Op 4. So Blue 4 can definitely make some good hold plays here. But if they let Op 4 get on their rear, then it's going to be that much harder for Blue 4 to potentially defend it. And you know that they're planning for it because look at where they're putting their Hescos. They're putting some rear facing because they know there's a very big chance for them to get engaged on the rear. All right, 5 minutes remaining. All right, so this round probably going to be over by the top of the hour. I am then going to run over to the store, grab a few things, help Bloodwing cook dinner. I know she has DND in an hour and 45 minutes. Whether or not she'll actually attend is any guess, though, because she is sick. So I should be ready to... Touchdown! Anyway, I should be ready to go with Daisy anywhere from 8 to 9 o'clock tonight, which is in... 2 hours 45 minutes to 3 hours 45 minutes. Where'd it go? They just put it in the dirt. Now it's gone. Man's still dragging it. Oh my god. Man is summoning 2 40s from... And there goes Pogo. Where did the turret go? I have no idea. Ah, there it is. I'm surprised it's still intact. How they haven't accidentally armored it and destroyed it is beyond me. Poor Pogo, he didn't deserve that. Promptly bitch slapped out of the AO, man. You just went to the bathroom to come back to that? Yeah. I don't know what they're trying to set up here. I don't know if they're trying to put it up here or whatnot. They're trying to maybe put it up here, but maybe part of the tripod keeps clipping on that dirt texture and keeps causing it to fly. It's hard to say. Pogo became a pogo stick, yeah. Smacked hard enough. Here, I'm just texting Bloodwing to see how much time she needs to potentially make the nachos, if she's even in the mood to make them tonight. Because I want to make sure, you know, if FNF runs to the full time, how much do I have to speed to then get to the grocery store? That was just impressive. Did you see that? He literally flipped it and armored himself with it. You know, he's trying to drag it from up here. I think they just decided to drag it and put it, but it's not high enough to shoot out of this area, though. Oh my god. Very cursed. How you doing, Hog? I think I saw you earlier. Hope you're doing okay. Hope your buddy Goat is doing okay, too. I love him. It's because he's a goat. Well, not a goat. The goat. Just love how jank Arma is exactly. Alright, so we got transport in the MT, the KVPT, potentially going to lock down the northern side. We have a transport truck also going to go north. I'm really worried that we could potentially see another action where Blue 4 put way too many of their forces outside the AO, and then Op 4 just rush in and potentially go south and take everything. Based off their vehicle deployment, though, it looks like we're going to see a bit of a weird spread. Maybe Matt's going to go to the direct route. Everyone else goes the other way, so we might have some engagements on the northern side outside of the AOs, but we'll have to see how things go. Nice. Well, did you win? New bottle flip challenge? That's what I was thinking, Nico, man. It's like the damn bottle flip challenges. This is round 3. Sorry, I didn't see your comment earlier. My bad. You're happy after playing War Thunder? Shark, it's because he was using premium ammunition, I bet. The only way you can be happy after playing that game is if you pay to win. That's a lie. Gold rounds, baby. All right, 1 minute remaining. Good God, I mean, for the rest of this month, I guess the other two things I'm waiting on is any content update for Homeworld 3, and then Dark Tides update, I think on the 25th of this month. That'll let me get some life back into both of those games for at least a week. Though next Sunday, we are going to start streaming some Exfil. What did AutoMod censor? Because I didn't even get a notification for it. That's the weird thing. Normally I get notifications, but guess not. All right, look at this. So Op4 doing a pincer attack, putting some of their forces down here. They're going to attack from the south, and then putting the other half up here where they're going to be pushed from the north. Blue 4 predicting this, putting a few units south, but is it going to be enough? We have some light anti-tank immediately running out as well. We could see Blue 4 perfectly counter this by sheer luck of the draw. They've cut their engines to glide in. Good call. And they're also bringing the KPVT down here. KVPT down here. God damn it. Oh, it might have been the nuke word. Yeah. If it was nuke, then yeah, it got censored. Sorry, we had a period for, I want to say, 2 weeks where every other chat message was just a person asking me to drop an atomic bomb on the player base. That's why we banned the word nuke in our chat. And I guess I've just been salty about it ever since. And that's fine. No, actually, that's great, Hog. $250,000 on Op 4. How much is on Blue 4? Lowland Kremet playing a very dangerous game. Meanwhile, Blue 4 trying to set up so they can overwatch this position. Where's the medium anti-tank gunner? He's over here. I think they're watching the vehicles go over that way. KPVT in a position. Immediately smokes the lead vehicle. Starts firing at the second one because it's slowed down. No opening casualties. What? How are people not getting killed by that? AT fires, it is a miss. Vonnik puts out smoke. AT is right there, though, gonna reload and fire. But it was a dud, it was only Mike in there. Blue 4 pursuing. They're suppressing the smoke. MLG gets knocked out. Driver's on the other gun. Do we have any AT on this side or explosives? Wait, they could be able to penetrate in and shoot them out through the hatches in the back if they mag dump them. I don't think Bates knows it, though. 545 can't penetrate those hatches. Unless Everett fixed it. Oh, he almost got run over because they don't know that he's back there. He saw the antenna. Wait a minute. He just one-taps that poor guy in his inventory. He sees Norris. Little PKT sees him now. AT? Nope, that was a Moz coming in and trying to hit another vehicle to miss. RPG fired, it goes over. Sounds like the vehicle hurt him. Trying to drive away. They seem confused. Gunner's still looking around. Meanwhile, looks like Sam and, yep. Okay, no, Lolo and Kremet that were on that front line got taken out. Another RPG fires. It is a miss. That one hits. I don't know why they stayed there after hearing an RPG whiz over them, but I guess they got really comfortable just bullying the players there. One player comes out. That's, I was about to say the other guy's still in there, but he explodes. Bates gets knocked out. Could be woken back up again. Now it's just up to Echo to hold the north. That's going to keep Op4 pinned over there and give Blue Force some room to potentially come in and hit these remaining forces here. Zixby and Ivnoman on the northern flank. AT4 prepped. And that Vodnik's been taken out. We see the driver knocked out, and I don't see any activity on the gunner back here. Goose is dead as the driver. Gunner is knocked unconscious. Thermite grenade thrown on the vehicle. That could potentially cook it off. Crazy gets knocked out because the thermite grenade's on the vehicle, and he's insta-knocked out. 100.6 on Blue Force, so Op4 given the advantage here. That could turn around. What we could see is these guys attack the northern side of Op4 here, sweep that force, and then Blue 4 just hunkers down around Sector 1. We still have some other defensive lines for Blue 4 here for that larger force on that side. But, I mean, Zixby already on 2 kills. Could rack up more. Pandemonium! Ivnoman with some explosives could also do quite a bit. Looks like he's doing a bit of medical. This is going to be the longest round of them all. Because Op4's pinned over a kilometer away from the sector. Well, a little under a kilometer, actually. They got to move it on foot, and Blue 4 has multiple defensive groups set up. Zixby on 3 kills now. He picked off somebody. But you can see the long-range harassment. I don't know if Zixby just got another one or if he's suppressing. It looks like he's just suppressing. And yeah, Blue 4 just going to keep holding the hotel. What I'm a little worried about, though, is eventually when this group regroups and starts pushing around, if Blue 4 stick on that hotel instead of actually folding to the sector, Op 4 can still win this at the end because Blue 4 still is defeated in detail at that point. Oh yeah, Blue 4 have a tan camo for the terrain. Op 4, meanwhile, have EMR, which is a little better, but... Looks like they also have some of the Desert Ratnik, though, so I think they did that on purpose just to make sure players didn't blend in too well. Wow. Another pick off and kill by Zixby. And he got the squad leader, so it's cutting off their long-range communication. So now no one else here is a squad leader. They can't communicate with that group. Meanwhile, Blue 4 sending another small element up. With Dream on point. You go, Mr. Minecrafter, you. Now you got Zixby. Is that gun used? Oh, it's usable. No freaking way. Man's on the gun. Yeah, he's just looking around. Looks like they're looting. I just heard AT hit something. That was another Vodnik. No, that was already a smoked out one. Looks like they hit the one. Ah, they hit the BTR. BTR completely cooked now. Now Blue 4 starting to ambush the main Op 4 element here. Nemesis trying to suppress. He's not going to fold out through the bushes. Did he get anyone with that opening barrage with the 240? He did. 249. He did not. Blue 4 doing some suppression. Honestly, it's just going to stall the northern group, but back to Zixby. He's on 5 kills now. It looks like he spotted Ash and took him out with that KPVT turret. Or KVPT. I always butcher the damn name of it. The something something. Zixby on 5. He's going to keep checking his left, though, because he's clearly paranoid about it. He's suppressing that tree trunk. Not sure if he sees the movement through the smoke. That was Hirana moving around. Trying to sight Wheaton in. Hard to do with that black smoke, though. GL just came in, and he kills Wheaton. That's kill number 6. He's going to be using the KPVT. And Op4 has no... Okay, they have held with the RPG. One of the blue 4 guys just got picked off. Did Helgi just get confused at what Gaz Vodnik is shooting at them? Oh, no! No, they're gonna think they got it, but it wasn't the right one! It wasn't the right one! Meanwhile, Zixmi on 7! He gets another knockout! Helgi, I think, realizes, I might have gotten the wrong one, buddy! Oh, no! And they might be out of AT, too! Oh! Legs blown out from under him. Because Zixmi can actually see under that vehicle. And look at that. That entire group has been relatively wiped. And now it's just down to this group. I called this, though. I called that blue 4 group was going to probably wipe them. If not, get them pinned between this blue 4 group and get them wiped. Shooting the tires out, so now they can't escape. Oh, we gotta reload. I believe in Helgi. Come on, chat. Do you believe in Helgi? Let's go. Come on, Helgi. You got this. You can do it. Channel your inner Andre Hotto. And you're dead. And you missed. And that is all she wrote, folks. The Ender Zixmi Hotto. Yeah, I see. Anyway, blue 4 and Op 4 and CQC at this point. Grenades being thrown really well. Salt gets up, only get blown up. Another grenade going by. Really great coverage by blue 4 to lock these forces down. A big chunk of Op 4's infantry is dead. And most of these guys only have 1 or no kills, so I have no idea what's happening here. Norris now trying to do a flank around to the south. And he's drifting in. Dream whips out his AT. He's prepping it. Norris is going to turn the corner. Still gets hit and knocked out by that AT-4. Looks like all of Op 4 is now dead. Zixmi sitting on 7 kills. Oh my god. So, with that roster versus this roster, chat, who do you think is gonna win? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, it's no longer really now. Oh, Malin blew up. Never mind, there's still a chance. Dream assaulting. He's going to have to get behind the vehicle he blew up. I think he just double-tapped Norris as he tried to run. Malin wakes back up, and Snodjaper, I think, was double-tapping. I don't know what. Uh-oh. Beep, beep. That's a satchel. Malin. Malin, you horrible human being. Wow. Dream's dead. Oh my gosh. The satchel killed Dream. Blue 4 have taken a few casualties, but not as much as the red people. Now you got the 4-man Matt team coming around. I mean, I'm going to be honest. These guys could hold that. Imagine being stuck in this hospital realizing all of Op 4 died because Blue 4 had a few crazy shitters push out and murder everybody. Zixmi gets the double tap and gets his 8th kill. Now you got Echo coming around to flank Op 4. Nemesis on his second kill. Meanwhile, T-Wayne gets a knockout on Mr. Grass. He's putting grass where it belongs. Meanwhile, it looks like there's a little bit of red on red now. Oh yeah, definitely some red on red. They're GLing each other now. Nemesis. 249. Endless possibilities. In a CQC situation. Even Op4 dropping their AKs for M16s. The other guy in here, I think this was Op4 ground command. Yeah, Tilsitter died. There's another dude up here. Blue 4 just double tapped him. Op4 have, I think, 6 dudes remaining. Nemesis won that 1v1 because he's got a 249 AK mini-me. One's American, one's European, but it's literally the same weapon system. And it's pretty freaking deadly. No, T-Wayne! Oh, you are my favorite rapper. Anyway. It's up to Nemesis, and literally, like, 20 other players on his side. But can Nemesis save the match from the Op4 menace? He's trying to get on the... Oh, God, he's roof climbing. That's an explosive charge. The poor old man broke his hip. Oh, God, that was an AT rocket into some poor bastard's face. He's still ragdolling. That's a grenade. And that actually penetrated through and knocked France out. I mean, historically, France has usually been knocked out fairly easily, so I guess I'll call that as a historically accurate win. Another grenade goes in. The boxes are going to absorb that. Maybe Udapu? Nope. He's okay. 5 enemies remaining. It's 4v5. 4 enemies remaining. 4v4. Oh shit! Man down! 4v3. 3 enemies remaining. Oh, Udapu gets knocked out. He's not dead though. 2 enemies remaining. France! France! Oh my God, you gotta channel in your inner Geneva suggestion list. Your back's sticking out, bro. Someone could see you. I believe in him. That'd be so funny if you stuck your ass out and then someone shot it shot it out. No, France! Oh, we might get him with the grenade. Yep, it knocked him out. Wise gets knocked out. Cats double taps. Last enemy. 1v1. You know what's ironic? Way back in 2009 when I was a little shitter. Oh, 1v2. I did play in Halo MLG tournaments. And that's the voice I'm trying to mimic right now with freaking firefight mode. Regardless, MLG throws a grenade out. Might actually get Cats. Nope, he ran too far. It's okay. MLG, you got 2 people to beat and then another, like, 20. I believe in you. Wait, no, I got this. Can MLG channel his inner Audrey Hotto and successfully defeat all of Blue 4 in the 32-minute time span? Let's find out. He's on 2 kills. He's looking over. He might have spotted movement through the bush. He gets up, starts spraying down. Throws a grenade to be sure. Does that grenade get Cats? Cats is knocked out. I don't think he's dead. Oh my god, he is dead. 3 kills for Mr. MLG. It's up to Cullis in this epic 1 versus 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 1 versus 16. There can only be one winner if all 4 wins. And that winner has the most epic gamer tag to remind us of Major League Gaming. In fact, he's done 10 Major League games. Cullis on the prowl, but MLG's waiting for him. And Cullis gets cut down. MLG is the winner of the firefight unless Cullis wakes back up. That grenade, oh god. That's a double tap to the head, and he's dead. 4 kills for MLG. Can he Audrey Hotto it as he crawls away? Oh my god. Just the MLG Hotto. I'm doing alright, Cole. How are you? Look at him just slowly backing up. Right. Back it up. Back it up. Back it up. Oh, okay, never mind. He stopped. He wanted to adjust himself, just as I adjust this. Malin teleports behind him. Nothing personal, kid. We gotta end the night. That'd be funny if Malin did that, but, I mean, he has a chance, okay? This is why when you have matches like these where it's just one guy remaining after a few minutes, his position should honestly be pinged or something. If it's like 10 players to 1, they should just be partially revealed on the map from time to time. Because at that point, we're just trying to wrap the damn thing up. I wonder if Blue 4 knows there's only like 1 or 2 guys remaining. They can't know the amount, but who knows? Cobalt, she's good. She's a little sick today. I gotta go to the grocery store for her, but she's gonna make nachos tonight. I love that woman. Because even when I'm losing my freaking sanity, like today, earlier, from some other stuff, she knows how to sit me down and help me talk things out. Love her to death. Look at this battle line Blue 4 is making. Alright, MLG. You've been recruited because you have a very specific set of skills. Your camouflage actually blends you into the AO, and you will use these skills to bypass this Blue 4 line and take the sectors. All you have to do is channel your inner Audrey Hotto and make it past this defensive line as you crawl through the ground. Because everyone knows the grass totally renders for everybody unless you're 50 meters away. Then it just looks like you're crawling around in a flat space, and it kind of looks a little awkward. But you do you, MLG. I know you'll be fine. God, this voice actually F's up my throat. Look at this. He's literally going to prone his way to the rest of this AO. Oh, never mind. Come on, MLG. You can do it. Bold strategy to roll into the river. Let's see how that plays out. Charlotte, you got to hit him in the face. It's a face shot. A facial, if you will. Oh, nope, spotted. Oh, God, Sam. Sam, he's just a boy. Please. Please, Sam, no. Sam, oh, God. You literally blew his face off. Literally. And what an explosive ending to Friday Night Fights this week. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Go operate operationally. Enjoy the rest of your day or night. Cheers. We'll be back for DayZ later.